Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video today. Okay, nope, see, we need the one. We need the one. You ready? Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 68 of the Weebs podcast. We apologize, alright? We gotta start off with an apology for missing last week. Things have been super hectic for both of us, but it kind of worked out for the best. Because, I mean, now we can talk about all of the season finales that we've been kind of like covering throughout this season, and it's because like we had some end last week, had some end this week. Now we can just talk about them all in one video, and we can even start to talk about some of the premieres for the insane summer season. It is incredible. I actually got a sleeper for you guys. I hope you guys end up liking it, but we are going to be talking about, first of all, just so you guys know, we have the chapters. We're going to be talking about Lord of the Mysteries. We're actually going to be starting with that, and then we're going to be getting into the endings, the season finales, and even series finales for Kowloon, Fire Force, and Go Go Loser Ranger, which all, I think, in my opinion, killed it. But here's the sleeper, boys. It is called Takopis Original Sin. I saw nothing about this, and then it just popped up the same day as Lord of the Mysteries. Now, here's what's kind of interesting about this. It's not for everybody. It's for the sick, degenerate freaks like me who like the misery animes. The ones that just make you so unbelievably depressed because they're just nothing but sad for no reason. It is really, really good. It's about this alien comes down to Earth. It's from like this happy world and it wants to spread happiness. But of course it meets the most depressed, abused, like, kid. And you just feel awful. Like, it's insane, and since it's an alien, it doesn't understand the world. So, first of all, this is, like, so sad that they actually had to put, warning in the beginning of it. But, like, there's one part where the alien sees the kid, and like, oh my god, that's so cool, your face is decorated. It's like, no, you fucking dumbass, she got her ass kicked.
Get the fuck up!
Yeah, like, it's swollen and cut up and bruised, and that's the thing, like, the alien doesn't know. So then the alien tries to help the kid, but it doesn't know how, because it doesn't know what's going on. So it's like kind of like learning, and it's really sad and messed up, but it's also really good. It's like almost a 40-minute episode for episode 1. I looked it up afterwards because I really like the art style. I'm like, hey, is this actually gonna like go anywhere? And it was rated a 4.9. You know what I mean? And it's still holding a 4.9. And, like, Crunchyroll, if it's a 4.8, 4.9, chances are it's really good. So I looked it up. People are talking about it on Reddit. The people who follow the manga really, really like it, but again, it's a very niche kind of genre. You kind of have to like the really sad stuff, the sick and twisted stuff. I know we're messed up, but like, hey, they make you feel, and it's really good. But I'm told that it is really, really, really good, and the cool part about this, my favorite part, is that it's only 6 episodes. So in a season that is just absolutely stacked, having something that's not a full season is going to make it way easier to watch. You also can just wait 6 weeks and just binge it all at once, or I guess 5 weeks at this point, but I actually thought episode 1 was pretty solid. It was pretty intense and pretty crazy. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here, especially because the aliens like starting to like figure it out and starting to get a clue. But it's pretty cool. I recommend it if you like sad animes, but I feel like we gotta jump right into
I just Googled it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, it just popped up.
Takopis Original Sin. Literally the first thing on Google, it's like most depressing anime of 2025.
Yep. I'm telling you.
It looks amazing.
Okay, the art's really cool, but like I said, it literally has a warning in the beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched a lot of depressing and, like, messed up animes. I don't think any of them have had, like, a warning, like, hey, guys, there's some, like, graphic shit in here. Like, it's, like, really sad and depressing. Like, be careful. Like, you've been warned. I'm like, alright, the art styles are actually, like, really, really cool, though.
Art looks really good, but that's getting in the trenches. I'm definitely going to check it out because it looks good, but...
Yeah.
Gotta steel ourselves for this one.
Dude, good luck. I'm not gonna lie, good luck. Listen, guys, again, if you're in that kind of stuff, you might like this, but what do you think of Lord of the Mysteries? That is an anime that premiered, again, dude, here's the thing. Lord of the Mysteries and Takopis Original Sin both dropped like 37-minute episodes, and Lord of the Mysteries dropped 2 episodes, both of them were almost 40 minutes. Is that like the new thing? Are we like evolving from like 20, 25-minute episodes to like 30, 35?
It's funny because like that extra 10 or so minutes allows you to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And like you could really feel it. Those 2 episodes felt like 3. Like they're way more action packed. Yeah, and like you could take
an episode and a half.
Exactly. Like you felt like there was way more to those episodes. And like they're pilot episodes or whatever, but like I mean you had over an hour of content on the series premiere. Yo, China is putting people on notice. Between 2B Hero X and Lord of the Mysteries, just incredible stuff. But like I kind of wanted to take a different approach instead of like really reading into it critically and then like going to the Reddit and like seeing what people are talking about. Like just watch it as a fan and appreciate it. And I feel like I had just as much fun like just taking these 2 episodes in because like I don't know anything about it, and it's deep. You can absolutely tell how deep this story goes just from a couple episodes. I mean, from like the mythology and like there's a ton of history in this world. It was like, yo, this shit is so well written. And you could tell literally from the first episode. I was very impressed. But I'm not trying to dive into it and spoil too much, which yeah, I have terrible self-control, so I do that often. But
Yeah.
really, really impressed. Amazing pilot.
So what I like is the amount of content that they're dropping, but also they have done so many interviews with people and kind of like talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Like, guys, Season 2 has been confirmed. It's going to have 20 plus episodes. It's going to be in 2 parts. Season 3 is also confirmed. Like, that's insane. But what's really, really cool is that what they talked about was they're like, hey, guys, we understand the 3-episode rule. So we literally designed our 3 episodes for that. That's why there was so much content. Because they decided, they're like, hey, listen, we really need to hook people because they're only going to give us 3 episodes. So let's cut out the slice of life for the first 3 episodes. Let's make it really fast-paced and all about the story. That way, we can kind of give our best first impression to someone who's going to give us 3 episodes, which I thought was fucking awesome. I thought that that was really, really smart. And you can tell that that's exactly what they went for because, like, we got a lot of content in those 2 episodes so far.
Dude, crazy. And you're exactly right. That's like, to me, written or employed by somebody who watches anime.
Yep.
Like, all right, we got 3 episodes. We got to hook these people. And don't use, the animation is gorgeous. The art style is phenomenal. But like they're not using the flashy, pretty stuff to like lure you in. It's the story. It's the like depth of the history in the story. I was like, it is both. Yeah, both things can be true. It's like very easy to watch, but like you're 15, 20 minutes in, and you're like, all right, there is a ton to unpack in just the first episode. Like they were going to like tarot readings and stuff. It is deep and like kind of applying some real world stuff to like an anime, which is obviously in like a magical fantasy type vibe for the first couple episodes, but they do it really well and it doesn't feel like forced, which I thought again just a testament to good writing.
Well, it's really funny too because I'm actually taking the opposite approach as you with this anime. So like, okay, so China is actually getting way more content than we are. So for example, I mean, we've had like what 37-minute episodes. There is for the Chinese audience, they are getting chibi skits at the end as well, like an extra 6 minutes, which are giving even more like context. So like for example, the very beginning, he gets isekai'd. But what happens is that he had a bad day, right? He had a bad day at work. Things aren't going well. He's very unlucky. So let me do a lucky ritual. So he does the lucky ritual and accidentally gets, isekai to another world or transmigrated, as they say. Well, in like the first episode, I think there's a chibi skit that actually shows that. It shows him at work, him having a really bad time, like he's locked in, he's getting a bunch of stuff done. Oh, they lost power, and he lost all of his work. You know what I mean? His phone breaks, all this other stuff, and the guy comes up to him, he's like, hey, I got this lucky ritual, you seem pretty unlucky, you should try it out. And he's like, fuck it, fine, I'll do it. And that's where they show it. So, like, having that extra content is really, really cool, too, but also, and this is really important, and this is where I'm, loving this is that episode 2, Mr. Neil, the alchemist, they are dropping videos with him where he is explaining everything because in the manga they have a ton of footnotes of like, hey, here's like everything that's important, because like one thing that like doesn't seem important but apparently really is the currency, understanding it. So he has a little clip where he's going and he's breaking down the currency. They have clips where they're talking about, okay, here are the regions. Okay, here's what these regions, where they're located. Here's the powers that each region kind of like deals with. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it gives a ton of context. Now, right now, it is not translated, so we don't get that content. But I've been taking a different approach where I'm actually loving being really a part of the community on like TikTok and on YouTube, where I'm seeing people who read the manga come like, hey guys, here are the things that you need to kind of know. Here's kind of like the power system and how it works. Here's the currency system and how it works. You know what I mean? And I think that that's actually like a really cool thing about this anime that typically people would hate, but like it's cool kind of like getting homework or like extra research into this anime because it's worth it. The animation is phenomenal. It's flawless. The artwork's incredible. The characters are so, like, Mr. Fool, bro, I didn't think it would hit that hard. And a lot of the other characters as well. The story seems so good. So, like, going on, like, TikTok and YouTube and, like, seeing people, like, explain about it and talk about it, it's been one of my favorite things. Like, I know we talked about, hey, guys, summer season, lots of depth. You know, we're gonna rotate what animes we talk about. Dude, this is probably gonna end up being an anime we talk about each and every week. Like, it's gonna
No
be so hard
doubt,
not to, you know what I mean?
dude. I completely agree, and you make a really good point. And I kind of learned this with Jujutsu Kaisen when I really first started getting into manga.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of footnotes and like author notes when you're reading a manga that's just coming out. So like you have that foresight and like extra knowledge. It does help you understand a more complex story easier or better, which I think helps you like settle into a story a little bit better than like kind of how I ran it. Just like, all right, put this on, watch these episodes, and then you're like going back trying to like break down, abilities and powers and
Yeah.
like you were saying, the different locations and what powers they specialize in, because you could feel how deep the story is right away. So having that like kind of background knowledge, I guess, or like those author notes does really help you settle into the story easier. So I probably would like that, especially like watching something week to week versus like, being able to binge, like you said, 6 episodes or whatever and be like, in one day I've got like a better understanding of it. Cause like I didn't want to like dive too much into it and spoil stuff.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, the community for it is locked in. Like this is a huge like effort anime wise.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna try and take it like episode by episode and see like what I can piece together. And we're watching a ton of anime every week. Like, I feel like I could probably pick up on it, but just in a different sense of like, like Fire Force. Before we get into that, like, watch the end of the season. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna read the rest of the manga immediately right now. Stay up all night. And like it's cool, it's good. Then you know what happens, but I think it gives better context. So I'm trying not to do that with Lord of the Mysteries, but I mean, just everything about it, just an incredible start. And like the whole, I don't know if you ever played Bloodborne, the video game.
No,
Like
I haven't. I've seen it though.
Yeah, that like Victorian steampunk, like
yeah.
classical meets modern vibe, never misses. Very, very cool.
And especially with that level of like art, like in the detail and the animation, I mean, it just adds to it and just accelerates. Like so good. But like, guys, I'll try to remember. I gotta drop the TikTokers that I like watch because they like explain it beautifully. Don't spoil a thing. So like they have been phenomenal where they're not like getting ahead of anything. They're not like, spoiling anything, but they're like, hey, like here are like the important things that it didn't discuss because again, another common easy Crunchyroll fucked the translations massively. So not only is Crunchyroll like not really advertising this in my opinion, which they did a ton for 2B Hero X, but well actually they didn't really for 2B Hero X either. I guess that's like a regional thing. But they butchered the translations where okay, who was it? The Hanged Man in Justice, the red and the blue, that he ended up seeing in the mist. Yeah, it actually shows their names, but Crunchyroll decided not to translate it. It actually showed all of their names and like their titles and kind of like who they
Oh,
are.
you're right. I remember that with the girl. It was like they show
like
you have, like,
three lines of like three different things.
This is like super wrong, but like the kanji, it's obviously Chinese.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the character's called, but like it shows her name and her title, and then it's like literally no subtitles, no translation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. And you're right. That is kind of like a common Crunchyroll L. After watching anime and like Korean stuff for so long, like you can pick up on like interpretations and phrasing, and like you'll have a line where it's like angry or aggressive, and it'll be like, I'm mad at you or whatever, but they're really saying like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like it's a little more intense, and the translation does kind of get lost, and in a way you lose that like that hard hitting effect. So I guess that maybe is just a drawback with like Chinese. I hate to say that, but like because the voice acting was fucking phenomenal. Like I can't really understand Chinese. Well, no, I don't speak any Chinese.
Yeah.
Or understand it. I hate to say it, but like the voice acting was still really good. The inflection was really nice, but you do kind of have to rely on the translation when you can't pick stuff up. Like it's much easier in Japanese.
Well, that's the problem is that like Crunchyroll's is so bad that they're not translating like a lot of stuff. Like I said, like they said that their names, like their titles of like who they are, but then they're also their nicknames. It only translates the nicknames. That's a problem. They're also mistranslating. So people are saying that they probably don't even have translators that are really like doing this because like for example, his sister that we meet in the very beginning of episode 1, it kind of gave some information about her, right? And it kind of was like, oh yeah, she's a student at this and so place. It's like, no, she's not. They haven't gotten that part in the story. It seems like Crunchyroll's going off the wiki, being like, oh, like here's kind of some for details and just throwing it in. they're like positioning, oh, she's a student, yeah, like this region. They're like, she's not like a student yet, and she's not at that region yet. Like that's later in the story. Like you guys like kidding? Like it's insane. So some of it is just straight up misinformation. So Crunchyroll is absolutely botching it, which is why it's really nice to then go to like these YouTubers and TikTokers that have read the manga, have a lot of information on it, and kind of be like, yo guys, here's what's going on. Let me break it down, kind of explain it to you, and it's just super easy to digest. So if you guys haven't started watching this yet, please go watch it. You are not going to be disappointed. It is very, very good. And if you feel lost, do not worry because they're throwing a lot at us on purpose. It's more fast paced because of the 3 episodes. It will slow down. We'll get into some of the more slice of life type stuff, which is really nice as well. But part of it's on Crunchyroll, part of it's we're not just getting that extra content yet that's like explaining it and teaching us like the footnotes. So I mean, being a part of the community, which I've been absolutely loving, and just kind of like interacting with people has been great. It's kind of like needed for this anime so far, at least until we get kind of like started here. We get like a little bit more emotion, but like I gotta say, first 2 episodes, flawless. I watched episode 1 twice. I watched it twice.
Hell yeah.
I never did that either.
Dude, so good. I went back and watched the second episode, like bits and pieces of it, to try and like wrap my head around some of the lore, and like, you know, there's a lot of like astrology based and mythology based stuff that you're maybe not ready for. Like traditionally anime doesn't dive into that world.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to keep it all together, but you know what, if you're watching this, listen to this man. Join the community, like talk to people, get some information, because it is a much deeper anime than, you know, like I hate to say it, I'm a huge fan, Jujutsu Kaisen. You know what I mean? Like having the footnotes as a manga reader was like you understand more about curse techniques and stuff like that. And then you watch the anime, it's like, yeah, they didn't explain any of that, and people are like, yeah, what am I watching? Like, how does this work? It's like, unfortunately, being a manga reader, like you get that and you don't in the anime. So that probably would help you, I think, immerse your experience a little bit better. But
yeah,
I literally could not recommend it enough. I think there was a lot of hype with it, and you're right, they didn't really promote it too much, but like the outside promotion was pretty good. So I mean, everybody knows Kaiju and Dan and all the big hits coming out. This would be the new series, the premiere I would recommend people to dive into.
Yeah, I think this is really gonna like last though too, because like you watch it and you can kind of see like not only is the animation like really really good, yeah, of course, obviously, the story just seems so good and it just seems so like in depth, and like the little details really seem to matter, like the currency and the regions, you know what I mean, and not just like, okay, here's your power system, here's a couple of characters, and here's like a plot, have fun. It's like really creating the world and putting emphasis that like, hey, this is all very important, you know what I mean. Like another thing that's like super important was his card reading. So the tarot card reading, that is apparently going to play huge impact later down the line, which I cannot wait for as well. I mean, they're announcing that, like, you know, season 2, season 3 are confirmed. Like, yeah, makes sense. Like, this is absolutely incredible, and I can see this being dominant over the next several years. Because, I mean, first of all, I've been a big fan of, like, was it Danwa? Like, the Chinese manga and animes, because, like, Link Click, phenomenal, so good, completely slept on, but also 2B Hero X, and 2B Hero X, from what we can tell, is only going to get like 2 seasons. So the fact that we have something that has popularity and is going to get like depth, you know what I mean? It's going to get like multiple seasons and it'll be here for a while. Like, I'm really excited about that because like Link Click, phenomenal. No one talks about it. Like season 3 wasn't even announced. They did a 6 episode arc. Didn't hear anything about that. They literally didn't announce it. I still can't find stuff about them announcing it online. It just popped up and was like, here you go. So the fact that we actually have something that's phenomenal that like they're like doing stuff about, like PR about, and like people have interest, I'm really really excited. It is going to kill it over the next several years. I think this is gonna be like it's gonna rule the next decade. It seems like
It'll definitely be like a star-studded anime, and I'm trying to think of like Jujutsu Kaisen will have a couple seasons, but most of the new manga that's being turned into anime, Kagurabachi, I can guarantee you is going to be the same way. They're shorter. Like our attention spans and stuff are like getting, you know, shorter. Kaiju's only like 130 chapters, which like I'm not saying that's a bad thing or good thing either way. Like that's subjective, but you're not getting those longer like mainstay animes, and this definitely is setting up to it'd be like the next 5-10 years of like premier anime. Like when this comes out, people are going to be talking about it. There's going to be a lot of hype for it, and I appreciate that because a lot more animes are trending in the direction of like being shorter, which again is not a bad thing, but it's nice to have those, you know, like One Piece. It's been like 27 years, you know what I mean? But it's nice to like keep coming back to the same thing and having that constantly evolving story.
Yeah, so, I mean, Hell's Paradise, I think it's next season's its final season. I mean, Kaiju 8 is probably only going to have like 3 seasons. So a lot of these animes are just killing it, but they're like, yeah, they're shorter. They're kind of like more straight to the point. Like, that's kind of has this like glamour in one way, but like, yeah, you need that next like 1 or 2 animes that last for like a while and that really build and have an amazing like and a deep story. And this seems to really kind of deliver on that. So I highly recommend it. But let's talk about one of the season finales. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Oh, dude, Kowloon. I thought that was sick. Kowloon did really
Yeah.
well. And like we were, like a little back and forth with it because like it did kind of
Mm-hmm.
drag in the middle, but like a really, really incredible job of like stringing like a viewer along and
Mm-hmm.
like building this world and all this stuff. And then at the end of episode 12, you get Kudo and he's like, oh, like I'm troubled. I need therapy. I'm fucked up. It's like everything's quite literally starts falling around
Yeah.
apart. It was like, damn. And like at times you're like, this is really confusing, but they really did a good job of like bringing it all together, especially with Miyuki and I think his name is Yulong, the white-haired character.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good job with that. And even though like you don't quite get like the finale in a sense that like the happy ending, you know what I mean? We got what we needed. I thought it was incredibly well done and
Mm-hmm.
like it made up for like kind of being confusing at parts and like stringing you along, but that's why you got to watch. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? That's why you got to finish the season.
I mean, that's the funny part because like, is the season over? Or is the series over? I'm pretty sure it's done. And they're talking about short animes, like a 1 season and then we're done type of thing. Really good story, but I honestly felt like it was a happy ending that you were looking for because Miyuki, we saw left the company. You know, he finally got his like revenge and kind of like moved on, and it seems like he left with Gwen. It seems like him and Gwen were like, fuck it, like we're like they got their happy ending. So that's what at least I hope. So like that's really nice. It was really cool that our MC, you know, was able to actually like leave Kowloon. That was awesome.
Oh,
And then we
that
see,
was
yeah,
so good. This the scene where she steps out and like it's just like quiet, everything's like busted up behind her. Very validating. Very well done.
yeah. And then who was it? Yao Mei is her name.
Yeah, she comes running up. It's like, ah,
Like, oh my god, you're alive! Like, yes,
way
dude.
to go, Kujirai.
And then it was awesome because then they go out to have like dinner, and that's when Kudo like shows up. And Kudo is actually kind of crazy because I'm pretty sure Kudo it was like 5 years. Because from what they talked about, he's been in Kowloon reliving those summers for 3 years. Because they talked about, I think Miyuki made the made the comment that like he stopped working at the real estate place 3 years ago, which means he was in Kowloon living in this fantasy like delusion for 3 years, and then it took him, he said, 2 years before he actually left Kowloon. Like he was kind of like stuck in limbo, trying to like get over and actually accept her death, and you know like move on. And that's what he said. He's like, yeah, it took me a while to like move on and stuff, but here I am. And it seems like it was nice seeing like the Kudo from the flashbacks. You know what I mean? That was really cool.
Yes.
Like laughing,
Yes.
joking around, kind of like loose. It was cool. I thought that was really, really nice. And seeing them kind of joke around and actually like kind of like flirt. Not like in the past, you know what I mean? But like it was in the present, and that's what it felt like. It was for the first time in this anime, like in the present. And I love that. That was so good. The lemon chicken was brought back, by the way. Every time I saw it, bro, it just makes me hungry.
Fire. Yes, dude. I'm like, damn, where can I get that?
Yeah.
You're so right though. It's definitely it is a happy ending and like that
Mhm.
scene at the very end when you get Kudo like walking up. And to be fair, my man, he went through some shit.
Yeah.
Like created a whole fake world mentally. Be
Yeah.
some tough shit to get
Yeah.
through. But yeah, he shows up and is like much more relaxed. He's like his natural self. And like, yeah, he's flirting with Kujirai and like they're having fun and like making
Mhm.
fun of each other. And it's natural. It's not like with the knowledge that like she died, the Kujirai in front of me is a fake. And, he kind of always had his guard up. Especially
Mhm.
like pretty much with everybody. Kudo always kind of had his walls up and like protecting himself because he was hurt. And like, sure, that's understandable but it was really really validating to like see them kind of like take that next step and like process his trauma.
Well, it makes sense too because we found out that like she died the day after he proposed. You know what I mean? So it's not like she
Oh
just kind of like
yeah.
died. It's like he proposed. He was waiting for an answer. She's like, "Yeah, I'll give you an answer tomorrow if I'm going to marry you or not." Knocks on the door, opens up, and then it's like she's dead on the balcony. And it's like, yo, like what the like? Yeah, you can see how it's like that's traumatizing. It's like holy shit. So it makes a lot of sense why you couldn't really let go and why there's a lot of like trapped feelings and like a lot of like confusion and just not knowing because it's like bro thought he was gonna get married, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, like, I didn't know this person at all. You know, he even said that. He's like, I didn't know it
Oh,
until she
yes.
died, but I didn't know her at all. Like, that was crazy. And, like, it got real deep, and I was like, yo, this is insane. It's incredible. Like, great writing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is the perfect reason or example, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
why you watch the whole season. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You got to go start to finish. Like the whole journey, especially with Kudo, really, really validating and like fun. Processes his trauma and like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he went through some shit. Proposes to the love of his life and then she dies the next day. Like he walks in and finds her, like really, really tough. But then to be able to form that new relationship with, the same, physically the same person, but
Yeah.
mentally very different. Like
Mm-hmm.
we get that through the flashbacks, how different their personalities are. It was just really nice, and I think it's a good example of why you got to like stick through it, even though at some parts in the middle we're like, what the fuck is actually going on?
Yeah, and that's like the part that was like kind of like heartbreaking to like realize is that okay, so it was like 3 years, right? And it kept reliving each and every summer. Now the thing is that the summer seemed to reset, and he made comments that there was other like Kujarais, you know what I mean? And he's like, "Why are you different?" And he said he ends up realizing at the end, he's like, "Oh, you're different because like I never knew her." You know what I mean? So my memory of her, like I didn't know like who to create. You know what I mean? And that's why she was so different from the rest. But then you kind of sit there and realize, I'm like, wait, he's been through the summer over and over and over again, and he's not the one that made moves against her. You know, she's the one that initiated. And it seems like that was like the first time that has happened. So, bro, literally sat there, lived like his life with her, interacted with her, you know, for 3 years, but never once made a move because he never wanted her to die. And he thought that if he, you know, flirted with her, dated her, and proposed to her, that that would always lead to her death. I'm like, dude, that is like, that's like kind of that's depressing. Like that's sad that that bro was like so her and he just wanted to like, be there with her, but he kept that distance because he knew that like if I end up with her, like she's gonna end up dying. You know what I mean? So like he always, you know, put that like 6 feet between them, and that's why it kind of makes sense when you go back and you watch it how hesitant and like wish-washy he is when she always tries to like engage and make moves, but he's like, "Yo, like I want to so bad, but I don't want it to end the same." You know what I mean? So absolutely incredible when you look back on everything. But yeah, what he got the good ending. It seems like you know what I mean. He was able to move on and maybe get the girl.
100%, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well done. And like, again, you had to watch the whole thing to get that full effect. But
Yeah.
the end hit really hard. And like, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to a situation like that where it's tough to process something or tough to move past it. But in the end, yeah, it took him a couple years, but he's still in a better place. And like, they are moving forward with the relationship, it seems like, especially with like how they're joking with each other at the end.
Yeah.
And, like you said, kind of flirting and making fun of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just really well done. I did not expect it to deliver the way it did, but really, really good.
And you know the best news about Kowloon generic romance is that apparently people are pissed because they changed certain things from the anime to the manga, and the manga has yet to
Okay.
get its ending. So the anime, you know, adapted from the manga, but kind of surpassed it, you know, and created its own ending. So if you really like the anime, but you maybe weren't a fan of certain things, it's a really quick and easy read to kind of go back, see what was different, and then see what this new ending's going to be, or the, you know, true ending in a way. Because it seems like, you know, of course, the anime, the producers kind of made their own thing, but the artist, the person who's making manga, you know, has their own thing in mind. So I low key might go back and like read it because I'm like, I want to know what the other ending would be. I want to know the differences and the changes.
Yeah, and that's always nice too. Like that's one of the great parts about anime. You could dive into the manga and the
Mm-hmm.
source material and be like, get a different ending. Obviously, everybody knows Full Metal Alchemist. The difference between like the original and Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that is really nice, and it just gives you another reason to dive back into a phenomenal story.
Oh, 100%. Let's keep talking about phenomenal stories with Fire Force. I mean, what the most shocking and also disturbing endings. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was in my bed just like watching it, and like when he was tripping out, and like he kind of like you see like the real images of like Tokyo and shit. I was like, dude, this is getting creepy. And then it shows his face, and like it's like stuttering, and it's like in and out, and it's like an asylum type shit. I'm like, dude, like what is going on? The sound effects started getting really crazy, and then bro wakes up to a like strapped to a bed, like he's like literally insane. His hairs are blonde, and I'm like, oh, you're awake. It's been 3 months. You know what I mean? It's been X amount of time. I'm like, dude, like what a way to just completely, just turn things around, and just what a massive twist to end off the season.
I completely agree. I feel like, especially the last two episodes, you could feel everything like make a 180 and be like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to the end of the story. You got Sho completely like flipping sides,
Mm-hmm.
chasing down Shinra, helping Shinra. He fights Fairy. The whole thing with the like the behemoth monolith type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. I thought the scenes with Arrow and Sho, like he's like bouncing off the arrows,
Yeah.
super sick. That was so cool. But like you could really feel the story like lock in and set direction for like this final season coming up. But dude, so good. It felt like Fire Force really took that next step and was like, all right, we're gonna go 100 miles an hour from here on out.
And what's really funny is because it kind of goes back to the beginning of the season, where we kind of brought up, we're like, yo, what's going on with Sister Iris? Because in that first original fight, she was the one that kind of like stopped the blast from like the dragon. And I was like, wait, yo, what was that? Even the science dude was like, what did you just do? Like we didn't know you were powerful like that. Like, what was that? Like, and then it was never kind of touched on. We're like, yo, like what's going on with her? And then we end up seeing that, like, first of all, when all this was kind of going down, you can see like something kind of going on with her, something's changing a bit. You're like, all right, well, she was a part of experiments, so it could be with that. And then you see the flashback when he goes to the past. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait, isn't that her at the first cataclysm, or like part of her family or something, like her bloodline? It's like, wait, like we know her, we know that blonde girl, like that's Sister Iris. You know what I mean? So she is apparently the key to it all. You know what I mean? And I cannot wait for the next season when we get way more into that, because that's going to be incredible. But she's just been like the sister that everyone's like adored throughout the entire, like series. And now it's like, wait, she's at the center of it all. You know what I mean? And like there's so much mystery here. I'm like, dude, this next season's going to hit so hard.
Just such a good way to like hide secrets through like an anime that's got like what 40, 50 some episodes. There's
Yeah.
a lot of Fire Force.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're still uncovering the story. And of course, me, no self-restraint, went and read the rest of it. And like I know, beautifully orchestrated and like so well done. And the way they do Iris for 3 whole seasons is a complete 180. Like when you move forward, like heading forward, it was like, oh damn. And the only like glimpse I feel like we got of it was that blast with Dragon, like the ability of Grace to like save them. And it was like it's just touched on a little bit, but on that last episode you kind of like realize Iris is like a main factor moving forward. She's like an incredibly important key player.
Yeah, and then hopefully that's what I was going to explain more about the orphanage, because that seems like that was an absolute shit show disaster that we touched on. We kind of know a decent amount about, but we don't like know like the specifics or how it's like really integrated into like, okay, the pillars. You know what I mean? So like that's going to be crazy. It was really cool to see that the one dude from like the cult was the being from the Cataclysm. He was the one that was able to cross over. You know what I mean? Like, he was an Inferno.
Yeah.
Like, that was insane. I was like, dude, no way. He's been chilling here the whole time. Like, that is crazy. But also, I want to know what happened with Shinra. Because why is Bro's hair blonde? And also, why is he strapped to a bed? You know what I mean?
Who pierced his ears, bro? My man's knocked out, and they're just like, yeah, let me pierce this guy's ears real quick.
Yeah, like, was he like, okay, like, he went into the past, and we saw that, but like, was his body still like functioning for the time he was gone and like doing shit? Like what exactly happened? Like, I need to know what I'm not against the new look. Like, it's pretty sick. But, like, we need some more context on this. Him waking up strapped to a bed, and they're like, oh, you're awake, finally. It's, wait, it was the 5th pillar that arisen, right? When he woke up and all it was on TV, it was like, oh, yeah, the 5th pillar's up now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, like, everything's been progressing without Shinra being awake, it seems like.
Yeah, so we need a little recap on that. Hopefully they drop like a special episode. I don't think that they will. I think we have to wait till next season. But like, I didn't know what happened in that time.
Dude, I couldn't help myself. I'm like, all right, immediately going to read it.
No,
and like
it
plays out. The art is so badass. Whoever the artist is for Fire Force, like the OG manga artist, really, really cool. Well, and they did Soul Eater too, like.
Yeah.
And without getting too much into it, I've never seen anybody do a prequel better. That is fucking incredible. Like, the last season of Fire Force is absolutely going to deliver.
Like, you were talking about that, like, the references to the Soul Eater. I'm like, dude, like, I need to, like, I'm so tempted to just start reading it, because as someone who's watched Soul Eater and loves Soul Eater, go to the anime. Please go watch it. Like, dude, I can't wait to see that. I feel like I'm gonna be losing my shit. Like, when I, like, see the references, I'm like, oh my god, like, let's go. Like, thank God. You know what I mean? But, like, This is gonna be such an incredible ending. Like, it's gonna be phenomenal, and I cannot wait. Dude, Fire Force needs to get the respect and love it deserves.
I agree. Like, I feel like there's a little stigma with Fire Force. I think they're the goated sound design team in
Yeah.
all of anime. Characters are badass. I mean, I love Shinra. I think he's sick. Arthur is a fucking idiot, but he's like incredibly hilarious. Like him following his delusions is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the way they kind of like bring this story all together for the end is really well done. And it'll totally deliver. So like everyone should really look forward to what is that, season 4, I guess?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Would
sure
be the
it's
next season.
4. Yeah. So
Yeah, and like especially if you watch Soul Eater, like the satisfaction you get at the end, money.
so I'm guessing season 4 will be the last season then.
That's what I would guess, unless they kind of like drag it out and like the pace slows down. But personally, I felt like the opposite. They're picking the pace up and like
Yeah.
moving a little quicker. So I would guess, yeah, 13 some episodes, like season 4 will probably bring us to the close.
And I'm kind of excited because like I was kind of like looking into this a little bit, and I did see someone reference that it's season 3 like part 1. And typically when you break a season into 2 parts, the second part comes sooner than later. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think that the finale to Fire Force, if that's the case, if it's not season 4 and it's actually season 3 part 2, I'm thinking we see something like early to mid next year of this finale, which will be awesome because I need it. Like when we have a series like that come to a close, like you got to get that as soon as possible. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be awesome. And going back to like kind of the hate it gets, I mean they kind of ask for it with like the random bullshit fan service. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you can go back and change one thing, change that. It's goated. You know?
Maki always losing her clothes, bro, for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing, and like they nix that. Like it gets much more serious, and like we're truly from this point forward like locked in. And like I'm sure some people appreciate the fan service, and whatever. That's your thing. I'm a degenerate too. I watch Rent a Girlfriend, so I get it.
I heard that the manga ended and people are fucking pissed.
No, it's way worse than that. It's fucking horrible. That was it for me. I'm done.
Bro,
that was enough for me to back out.
People did the math, and apparently he like spent $250,000 just to get denied.
And she's basically like, yeah, like I don't want to give up my lifestyle. I like people paying for everything, and like guys taking me on dates, so can't be your girlfriend. Wow, Chizuru, you're the biggest piece of shit in anime. I fucking hate you.
Bro, Sakura it was like, that's Sakura's favorite day from Naruto. She's like, finally, I'm not the most hated girl in anime. You know what I mean? Or is she? Who knows?
Yeah,
let us know in the comments down below who's worse.
Chizuru, for sure. Sakura was definitely a bum for a long time, though.
Oh, dude, that is so funny. Dude, it was like, what, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I just saw, like, the internet blow up, and I'm like, I have no idea if Rent a Girlfriend, I haven't watched a single episode, didn't read anything about it, but saw that, and saw people are, like crashing out. Because, like, it's been going on for a while, so people have, like, really followed
like 350 chapters, baby, and we're just getting denied now, years into the series? Reiji, you motherfucker! I was so pissed, because, like, without getting too much into it, they fucking live together. They're like an actual couple doing couple stuff, and then she's like you're, they talk about like, oh, what kind of family do you want to have? You want to get married? Do you want to have kids? She's like, well, I still like guys paying for my lifestyle, so I can't be your girlfriend. It was like, he's unhinged. This is unhinged.
I'm so glad I never picked it up. Like this was like been like hearing the ending it's gotta be the greatest thing ever for me. Where I'm like, wow, I won by never getting in.
Yeah, it's so true too. And like everybody's like, oh, I already know the ending. He's gonna date one of the other girls. Chizuru's gonna get jealous, and then the fallout will happen, and then they'll get together. End of the series, 560 chapters. Great.
Well, this
was a great 12-year run.
Yeah, technically they're doing like a spin-off, or like they're doing something else. So like there could be some kind of ending. It just seems like they wanted to go a different route.
Yeah, and like I get it. I'm not the guy writing the story, but incredibly frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah, but anyways, Fire Force was pretty good.
Fire Force is sick though. Watch Fire Force, not Rent a Girlfriend.
All right, yo,
and,
good.
I think like you get to see it in the last episode. Like Sho is switching sides, and that to me like builds a lot of hype because you're gonna get the brothers fighting against people, and like that's a pretty OP combo. You got two pillars, like that's legit.
That's a duo right there. Like especially the way that their like powers complement each other as well. Like that's gonna be fun.
And I love the way Arrow like assists show, like him bouncing off like all the arrows and like fighting in midair. I was like, yo, this is arguably my favorite like moment in Fire Force. Like really creative and badass.
And it's funny too because he's like, who's shooting these arrows? Like they're missing, and Show's just like, no, they're not. And he just starts leaving from them because that's how he's like getting to the guy, and just starts like he like cuts through him. He's like, that didn't hit. Which, by the way, that other guy's ability is such bullshit. Like such bullshit.
That is typical anime hacks. He's just got like, he can control gravity, he can flip things upside down, he can just like split his body apart. I'm like, all right, enough, bro. I'm gonna need you to stop, Fairy.
Yeah, like how? Like how is anybody supposed to compete with that? It's gonna be plot armor galore.
What does that have to do with fire?
I was waiting for that.
Where are you getting these abilities? I'm definitely with you on that.
It's kind of getting more into like heat and heat's like relation with gravity, but it's like, all right, bro, like I need a scientist to come fact check this shit because I think he's making stuff up.
It's like, all right, that's a little bit of a stretch. I got you, but we're reaching here.
And who gave this kid the powers? Like he's a guardian. Like how's it not a pillar?
And he's like, oh, you would have done much better with me. It's like, I don't know, my man. Show's about to beat your ass, bro. You better get with it.
But yo, it's coming to a close, and it really setting up well. I think another anime that set up really, really well for next season, Go Lose a Ranger. That I really like that ending because now the factions are in full bloom. What's that orange hair kid's name? The actual one.
Sakurama.
Yeah, Sakurama actually has a faction now. He's got X on his team, which is a surprise. He's got that one, the beefed up guy, the one muscle dude. Like, he's got a couple people on his side. In a mix, too, of Rangers. Like, not, like, the core Rangers, but, like, the cadets. And also monsters. Like, bro's in the game now. And that's something we kept bringing up over the past several weeks, where it's, like, he keeps kind of, like, showing up, and, like, it's at the end of everything, you know what I mean? It's, like, it's already done. So, it seems like he's finally gonna get his place in the game, which is gonna be insane. The Rangers are making a comeback, and then, of course, you have Fighter D, who has his crew, which I love that he has, like, the lieutenant of, like, the Green Squad. She's my favorite. So the fact that he's got her on his team, that's amazing. I cannot wait for the next season.
Dude, same. And, like, this is something we were on since, like, day one. So, like, I've been loving the journey. The story has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, like, there's just so many things to, like, enjoy about it. Chidori, great, the Green Dragon Keeper.
Yeah.
So sick. Like, in the way they go after that final boss, like, Utsukuma's dad, just really, really badass. And it was kind of cool to see, like, Season 2 really set up everybody against each other, the different factions, and, like, the public distrust of the Dragon Keepers once some secrets come out. And at the end of the day, they're like, all right, we all got to fucking link up and, like, make this happen because we can't beat this guy. They all, like, kind of flourish and shine in their own way. Like, each individual Dragon Keeper, the blonde girl who's the clone, like, she locks in and helps the Dragon Keepers, even though that's her goal. Like, I thought that was so well done. And then you get the extremely satisfying scene with Sakurama, like, finally, like, taking charge. He's got a group. He's like, all right, I'm going to undo all the wrongs. I'm going to cleanse all the bullshit out of here. Let's go. And that's it, which I thought was a perfect, like, kind of cliffhanger to set you up for the next season.
And that's kind of cool because, like, Fighter D was, like, popping off as well. Like, he was actually, like, fighting and actually, like, getting shit done. He's actually getting stronger. And I really want to see what happened over that year. Because I think it was a year that he was stuck in that, like, jail cell with, like, the main villain. And I love that, by the way. I love how he's just, like, Fighter D's like, all right, yo, we going in here? Like, you want to go? He's like, dude, I injected a lot of the serum. I'm pretty weak. But, like, it's going to be a while until I starve. Let's just chill and talk. And he's like, all right,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I like that. Like, it's like, let's just hang out. You know what I mean? So I really want to know, does Fighter D get, like, some, like, good info that's going to help him make some better moves? And, like, did he, like, train at all? That's a pretty good training partner, you know what I mean? Are we going to see some kind of, upgrade from Fighter D in the next season? But that was cool when the doors kind of open and he's like, let's get back to it. And it's like, yo, yeah, let's get back to it. Where's that next season? Like, roll that shit out. Like,
let's go. Dude, I'm so with you. Like, really, really good ending. And I'm, like, kind of torn because in a way I'd like to see Fighter D get some power up and, like, not even like a buff, but, like, different moves. Because my man's basically just throwing hands and he's got, like, his knife arm chop bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, but in the same sense, like, it's really cool that he doesn't have, like, broken hacks or he's, like, as strong as, like, a Dragon Keeper.
Yeah.
Because he's just a regular fighter. He's just a regular dude and he has to use, like, diplomacy and, like, you know, he's got a scheme on everybody to get things done and like get the upper hand. And I think that there's an element that makes Go-Go Loser Rangers really sick because of that. That's your MCs, not, you know, like Naruto, who's just completely cracked.
Yeah, well, he's kind of broken in the aspect that he like doesn't really die, just from like a
Yo,
divine
oh yeah,
artifact. Like that's one, and he can kind of like shapeshift. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty like cool too. If you're kind of like a spy, like he has been kind of
that is
infiltrated the
legit.
Ranger Academy as somebody else. Like he does have some things that's cool, but like from the combat point of view, he's not like broken at all. He's actually like weak as shit. You know what I mean? Like it's been how many
Right.
seasons? You know what I mean? And he hasn't like really done a whole lot. So the fact that he kind of fell into his own a little bit more and kind of got a little bit more involved, I think that was sick. And it was actually pretty cool, like seeing all the Rangers kind of beat up afterwards too. You know what I mean? Like we kind of like really saw the Rangers for who they are, and I feel like again everything is just set up for pure chaos going down the line because we have all these factions, all these groups with different ideals. You know what I mean? We saw in this, you know, this little arc that the ideals align, you know what I mean? They could work together. Because like the blonde hair girl who's a clone, or she has clones. I don't know if she is a clone. That's kind of complicated.
Yeah, true.
She is all about the Dragon Keepers. Like she is one of the chosen. So it makes sense why she wants to fight, you know, the monsters because they were against. They wanted to kill the Dragon Keepers. Who's it, Utsuba or that whatever her name is? She even said she's like, "Hey, can we like leave like the surface dwellers, like the humans alone? We're just after the Dragon Keepers. We want to kill them and show how strong we are." And he's like, "Oh, that's how you're thinking?" Bam, like hits her. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
don't care about your opinion then. You know what I mean? Like that's where she was kind of like, yo, like you're after them, like I'm one of them, like nah. And she worked with the Rangers and kicked some ass. Which, by the way, I wonder if she's in Fighters D's like faction per se. Like I assume she is.
Yeah, I think she will be just because we got like kind of her backstory and like how she came to be like half monster, half human.
Yeah.
I think she relates to Fighter D in the sense that he's like trying to do what's right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lose-lose situation. Like everybody in a way is corrupt. I feel like we've seen that up to this point,
Mm-hmm.
or they have like ulterior motives that are like the blonde-haired girl.
Yeah.
She's trying to collect all the divine artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly like the most peaceful option. Like everybody has an ulterior motive, and
To
like,
be fair, those
well,
artifacts are people that were turned into weapons from the Yellow Ranger. Like you can kind of see like why
she does have, yeah, she has a dog in that fight. You're right about
she's
that.
got an excuse there. Like she doesn't have to be real diplomatic. She can fuck some shit up, and like it's like, all right, you gotta pass. Like those are your friends.
She gets the pass. Yeah. Yeah, friends and family. Like, but it's cool that you have like all these different situations and like I feel like plot points maybe isn't really the best word to use, but like this third upcoming season, which I hope is announced, guaranteed, because this shit needs to be animated ASAP. Like you have all these factions that are like you at one point unified to beat this villain, and then it's like, all right, now we have to get back to our real motives or like what we're trying to serve for ourselves. Which I think you're exactly right. It just leads to absolute chaos, which is another aspect of Go-Go that just makes it super fun to watch.
Yeah, and if it doesn't get like a third season, I'm 1,000% binging that. Like
I'm crashing out and reading it.
Oh, absolutely, because like it is just so good, and it is a Hulu exclusive, so is it going to get kind of like the recognition it should?
True.
No, because especially because Hulu is a pretty rough platform. It's got its problems, you know what I mean. So not a lot of people have it, you know what I mean. So the access to Go is kind of like not the easiest.
And I want to say, like Crunchyroll, I think is like 20 something a month. You know, you get no ads, you get all the shows. That's super cool. If I'm paying like $80 for Hulu, I don't want ads in my anime. It's not a live event. Like, I think that's bullshit. So, like, you're right. Hulu is flawed in a way, and that kind of, like, detracts from an anime, even though it's completely not their fault, just because Disney bought them. But, yeah, and that's, like, a very first world problem. I don't want commercials in my anime.
Oh,
but, like, if you're paying for it.
Hold up. Crunchy is like 20 a month? I do the
20...
year for 80. So I feel way better about that
or
now.
No. It's
I
like,
was saying, like, that's like a couple months. Like, what?
Nah, it's like 20 something for every 3 months. That's what I do.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I'll never get rid of Crunchyroll, so like should just buy it for the year.
Dude, people
but it's like
complain about
$25 for like 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, like the amount of Crunchyroll I watch, like, they can make it 100 a year and I'll still watch. But I'm not gonna say that though, because if you make it 100 a year, you know, we'll still crash it. No, because you can't mistranslate like that, and you can't fucking get rid of the fucking comment section. Like, by the way, another thing about Lord of the Mysteries is that if you look on Crunchyroll, it's Lord of Mysteries. They fucking mistranslated the goddamn
changed the title.
name. Yeah. The actual name of it, it's LOTM. That's what people talk about it as. Elithim, Lord of the Mysteries. Where the fuck's the T gonna be? Crunchy, where do you think that comes from? You know what I mean? It's not Lord of Mysteries, so yeah. Good job, Crunchyroll. You did great, and this is why people
You're
pirate
getting lazy,
shit.
Crunchy. You're getting lazy.
Yeah.
You got all this money from Sony. I want to see you lock in. Give me my comments back.
Dude, we need them. Like, they're just so valuable, man. Especially when an anime like that, it would just be like, thank you.
Yes, and the people who have, or yeah, like there's tons of animes where like if you had read the manga, you could like not spoil shit and still help people like catch on and like get more involved or feel like they're locked into the story more without spoiling stuff.
Yeah.
If you just had a comment section, and it really wasn't like it was unruly or anything. Like
it wasn't at all.
People were just voicing their opinions, and if you suck, they're gonna let you know.
To be fair, I just kind of realized too, T-Bait would have gotten it if there was still a comment section.
Yo, I saw this posted, like it was like the second most popular anime that week, and they're like, yo, we really are watching this into like a top 5. And everyone's like, yeah, I watch it because I hate it. It was like, ah. And the story's got to be really sick, but like, you got to do better in the animation. And like, I hate to say it.
No, and the story, they butchered the story. Because like, I dropped it after episode 2, I think. I've yet to touch it. It's off the watch list. It's gone. But like sometimes like the shorts or stuff will like pop up and people like talking about it. They've destroyed the story. Like the story is so far off track, it makes zero fucking sense. They've completely changed everything about it. It's not T-Bait anymore. Like they did worse than what happened at Tokyo Ghoul. It seems like.
Oh, like you hate to see it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like the man was really really good, but like our standards have really changed, you know, from back in the days where you had like OG Naruto, Dragon Ball, stuff like that. Like, yo, look at Lord of the Mysteries. That animation is prime.
It is.
Like we're being exposed to higher quality, and that's just kind of life in general. Like better quality stuff, pretty much all around you, and especially with anime, you got to keep up. You know what I mean? It's the big leagues. You gotta perform, and unfortunately, T-Bait didn't. And if you're changing the story or like butchering the story, it's even more reason to like, you know, kind of voice your opinion. You don't want to be rude, but if it sucks, it sucks. You gotta let them know.
And like Crunchyroll takes time people to like moderate. Like you just do applications and just have like hire moderators or just have people volunteer. Just think about how many people just watch these animes and are like in the comment section already. You know what I mean? It's not like Discord does that same shit. You know, it's just super easy. So give us our comment section back. We're gonna start a petition, boys, and we got to get this going. Because it is important. It is important. We got to get the comment section back. We're gonna bring it up. We bring it up like all the time. It's like every like second or third episode.
And we're not bitter. We're not angry or upset or mad. Still bitching about it like a year later.
Yeah, dude, it's
but, like,
so bad.
And anime is like very solid. It's set. It's popular. It's big in the West. Whatever. But like that's what builds community. And like you're talking to people who love, you know, this anime or that anime about the anime. And like there's other places you can do it, but Crunchy is like the home of anime. So hopefully they do bring it back.
Yeah, they need to. We need better, but. What a great close to the season. I personally think a lot of these animes had phenomenal seasons. Even if they weren't like the most hyped up. I feel like the spring season, like it was kind of like all right, whatever. People didn't feel like anything about it. We enjoyed it. We talked a lot about it. I think it came to a good close. Like it felt good, and I feel like some of these animes are gonna compete for awards at the end of the year. But now you have the summer season, and the summer season started off with the biggest bang you can possibly do with Lord of the Mysteries. I mean, absolutely incredible. Again, if you haven't watched it, check it out. But this week, I'm just on the release calendar looking to see what comes out because now it's starting to happen. You know what I mean? We got to check Netflix now too. Fragrant Flowers, Sakamoto Day is gonna be on there. Like, hope you guys are ready. Yeah.
Dude, I completely agree with you. I think the spring season will be like overlooked and slept on in a way just because you didn't have the big names the summer has. Phenomenal. It was fun. There were times where I'm like, man, like this story's moving slow, and by the end of it, you're like, oh my god, that was sick. Like it really played out well and was a very successful season. But like looking through the release calendar, Kaiju, Got You, Taka, you got Lord of the Mysteries. There's just like so many shows. You got the movies coming up. Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer. Was like everything's popping off this week. Like it starts this week. We're in the trenches now. It's time to lock in.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that there's so many. Like I have a list of like everything. I think it's gonna be over the next 2 weeks where we really start to have everything roll out. But like this is like the first week where like it really starts to like pick up. because I'm pretty sure a lot of them come out on the 5th and the 6th, which is this weekend. But yeah, over next week too, the 7th through the 12th, there should be a couple. So yeah, this week especially is gonna be very busy. It is gonna be absolutely insane. But like, hey, bro, it's like what, 4th of July weekend, so extended weekend, kind of perfect to binge anime. You know what I mean?
It was planned out. Let's be honest. They were like, yeah, everybody's gonna have off. They'll be binging. You know,
they definitely don't care about us.
Absolutely fucking not. Yo, they don't give a fuck.
We'll pretend though. We'll pretend.
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yo, but spring really, really good. I think Kowloon was a blast, and like, as you know, we've watched a shitload of anime. Every week we watch a ton. Like that was a good example of like why you just sit back and enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? Like we're pretty critical with stuff, but there was so much good stuff, and I thought Kowloon delivered really well. Go-Go was a ton of fun. Fire Force and Windbreaker are setting up to like really push us into this next arc, and their next seasons will be sick. It was awesome, but it's summer. We're locked in.
Yeah, like summer is gonna be absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it, boys. I feel like some of these we're gonna have to like not even talk about on the podcast, but just make straight up videos on separately. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Hell yeah!
We're gonna have to figure something out. I wish you guys the best of luck. If you guys haven't seen it already, we actually dropped the preview for the summer season. So if you're like, dude, how many like animes are coming out? Check the video. It'll be linked. It'll be linked at the end. They'll pop up a little ending. You click on it, and then it'll take you right to the video. Like I'm telling you, like there is a disgusting amount of anime coming out. So we hope you guys are enjoying. We hope you guys enjoyed the spring season. I know we really enjoyed it. We hope you guys did too. It definitely had some awesome animes. But yeah, summer's here, and good luck, boys. Good luck. We're
find a way. We'll find a way. Watch everything. Be calling out of work.
Yeah. Look what happened. You've been getting sick a lot this summer. Like I don't know.
Yeah, sick. I'm super sick.
Allergies, bro. It's crazy. Something's going around this time of year. It's called peakness.
It's always the perfect excuse. Yeah, Peaktober. I got a case of Peaktober.
yeah, dude, it's crazy. I wish you guys the best of luck. But anyways, guys, hope you guys have a great week. Hope you are excited this week. Later, guys.
Peace.